Welcome to the Athena Wellness Podcast, the show that invites you to take a seat around the community fire and listen to stories that inspire. I'm your host, Kathy Robinson, author, coach, and founder of Athena Wellness, a company that's dedicated to supporting you on your journey to live more wholeheartedly. Hello, and welcome to episode 30. Thank you so much for joining me for this shortened Wellness Wednesday episode to help keep your warrior vibe high. In episode 29, we talked about how to turn our wellness challenges into wins. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to put those principles into action for yourself and give you a link to a free action plan download. We'll end with a final check-in with Dr. Robyn on the progress we've both made during the 4 weeks of our gentle spring reset that we introduced back in episode 22. So sit back, take a nice long breath to ground yourself in presence, and let's get started. There are times when we want to make healthier choices. We want to turn our wellness challenges into wins, but we don't know where to start or feel we don't have the time. Lasting, meaningful change happens one step at a time. As a result of taking the smallest of actions, we can experience a boost in vibrance, confidence, and alignment with our deepest selves. This creates momentum that paves the way for bigger changes over time. We'll step through a simple framework that will help you identify one area that will make a positive impact on your well-being so you can develop an easy action plan and get some traction and monitor your progress. The first step is to identify an area you'd like to explore. It can be something like nutrition or movement. Perhaps you'd like to simplify an area of your life. Maybe you'd like to increase creative expression or life flow. Or maybe there's a spiritual practice you're interested in, or even deepening a relationship with a friend or lover. You might also choose to have some fun with this. I think we're all eagerly awaiting post-lockdown life, so perhaps you take this opportunity to plan an adventure, a fun excursion to take sometime in the future. Whatever you choose, it should have some pull for you, a little energy or heat with an opportunity to make some incremental progress. When I make my own action plans, I like to do them in line with the Athena Principles. And there's an action plan template on my website that you can download for free. The address is www.athenawellness.com/action-plan, and I'll put a link in the show notes. So the first step relates to self-compassion. Jot down 1 or 2 ways you can practice loving kindness with yourself for your chosen area of focus. Think about where you might be able to be more accepting of yourself, less judgmental. How can you be supportive of the change you'd like to make? The second step is getting clear on your intention. Take a moment to reflect on why you're willing to commit to this area of focus. And more importantly, how will you feel once the change is made? The third thing to think about is consistency. Can you select the frequency or the amount of time that you'll be able to devote to your area of focus? It could be anything from 5 minutes to an hour a day, but just be realistic. What's the one action you know can be accomplished each day? The fourth step is attitude. That's the lens that you choose to view this journey that you're laying out for yourself. I believe it determines the level of progress for sure, but also the enjoyment. It's the difference between muddling through tasks or reframing them. I think that optimism fuels progress, and when you're radiating good vibes, that's going to pay dividends. The last step is keeping yourself accountable. Deciding how you'll check in, celebrate the wins, and compassionately adjust where you need to. And I remind you that wellness is a journey. I hope that you'll continue to update your Wellness Action Plan worksheet each week and this process brings you some clarity and some ease. May you continue to honor yourself by making choices that create a healthy, integrated, and fulfilling life. Now let's check in with Dr. Robyn for the conclusion of our gentle spring reset. Dr. Robyn is here for the last of our 4 weekly check-ins on the gentle spring reset. Welcome back, Robyn.
Thanks, Kathy. It's good to be here again, even if I have to fess up.
So speaking of confessing, please remind our listeners what you set out to do and how the week went.
Okay, well, I set out to reduce my screen time at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. And I think to some extent I did achieve that. I have an unfortunate addiction to spider solitaire, which sometimes comes through when I'm just heading off to bed. So I think I'm in the process of breaking that, and I'm trying to do more reading before I sleep. With not too bright light, sends me off to sleep. And I haven't been watching any evening television at all. Somehow life's just been too busy.
Mm-hmm. Did you sleep better?
I think I'd sleep worse when I look at the screens. That's pretty clear to me.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say, yes, I did sleep better. Thank you.
Good. Very good. Very good. Well, for me, my intentions were to continue with the no early morning tech, to move throughout the day, and the springtime meals, which I did. But my new intention was to set a spring cleaning calendar. So now I do have a prioritized project list out for the upcoming months. So I'm ready to go starting in April. And I've been working on that. That's been my taxes and my paperwork. And that's what I've been working on this month. And will continue as the months unfold.
Well done. You sometimes just have to sit down and get all those aspects of your life clear, don't you?
Exactly. If you don't, it feels like they take on more weight.
I think that's true. And if we turn around and actually address them, it often lightens the load.
Exactly. That is definitely the hope. And so, it's hard to believe, Robyn, we've been at this. We started when the seasons were turning from winter to spring, and here it is. It's a month later already. So when you look back over the last month, what were your main takeaways? What are some things that you learned?
Well, I have continued with the writing as well, which was one of the aspects that I had decided to do. I think it was the week before last. And I've had a few insights into what I'm feeling come through in that. And I think that I just need to be kind to myself, and I need to realize that I'm not going to become somebody I'm not. So if I can manage to do some of these things some of the time, I should be happy with that and not expect myself to be the person that gets everything right, with air commas, all the time, and be satisfied with the things I do well, because there are things I do well. But I'm one of these people perhaps who's a bit of a glass half empty kind of person rather than a glass half full. So just being kind to myself and be satisfied with what I can manage to do. And also to recognize that my life is also very tied up with other people's, and to acknowledge that the work I do with supporting my family is very worthwhile time spent.
Very good. Well, I commend you for having the self-compassion to be able to do that. And as your accountability partner, I can say that you do get things done. I've seen it over the last 18 months. So I just want to reflect that back to you as well.
Thank you for that.
So, yeah. And then, for me, when I set out, I was really hoping for a nudge to move me out of winter and into spring as a way, and also a way to get to know our listeners a bit. So personally, I do feel gentle momentum. And professionally, it was really fun to get emails from some of the folks who were playing along. And, their themes were similar around organizing and taking more time for themselves, moving their bodies and eating lighter. And it's my hope that everyone that's listening can feel some sense of community, that there are others out there just like you, investing time and energy in themselves to be able to enjoy this life that we've been given. So it's been very affirming, and I'm looking forward to doing something like this again, maybe in the autumn, who knows? But it was really fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. And it just made me stop and think in a way that I hadn't done for a while.
That's wonderful. And I can't thank you enough for your willingness to come along on this journey and to share your experience. I really appreciate it, Robyn.
Well, thank you for the invitation and the opportunity.
Great. And have a wonderful spring.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know there are many ways you can spend your time. Thank you for choosing to spend it with me. Until our paths cross again, be kind to yourself and show your warrior spirit some love. If you know anyone who could benefit from today's episode, please pass it on. And many thanks for supporting the show by subscribing and leaving a review. It means a lot, and it helps others find their way to our circle. And if you'd like access to the show notes, have a question you'd like addressed on a future episode, or would like a transcript of this episode, visit www.athenawellness.com/podcast. Until next time, be well.